Hello everyone. With the ELO Legends tournament going on and King of Sahara coming up in a few months, I thought this would be a great time to discuss about some of the raiding styles that you can find in competitive games. This tutorial is for all those new players and inters who struggle with raiding and often lose edge in the middle of the game. You will see all different kinds of raids so that you can mix and match during a competitive game. This tutorial is more towards standard game style where raiding is rampant than Nomad. Meanwhile, look at this legend surviving with 1 second timer. The earliest form of raid is the Age 1 early raid. This is also called the Ancient raid. You go Science 1, Military 1, build a barracks and start sending your units. Certain nations do it very well. As you can see here, the Iroquois player Paladin has sent his heavy infantry. He has forced his opponent to himself go Military 1 and get a barracks to defend, but as you can see, it's all crumbling down for Mentalist. It's not working as well. And this is one way where ancient raids, especially Age 1 early raids, they are extremely powerful. Not all nations can do them equally. I prefer certain nations. Iroquois get a free scout, so they are great. Romans, they get a free Military 1. British get a free archer. Aztecs get a free Military 1 as well as a free light infantry. Persians get free food. And then there is Dutch. Dutch have got a very special thing going on. Dutch do not need Science 1 and Military 1. They can go Science 1 and Civic 1 like any other nation because they get these armed caravans. Armed caravans can act like military units because they can still slow down the enemy. You can see here, Naoto is raiding Thor, and while Naoto's eco is not taking any hit, not even Military 1 for him, Thor is forced to get his own Military 1. The next type of raids are called late ancient raids. All you need to do is get done with your 100 eco, and right before you are clicking on the age button, or even if you have clicked on the age button, get Military 1, make a barracks and make units. While this can be done with any nation, there are certain nations that are still more useful. First would be British, because British get an instant archer upgrade as soon as they reach age 2. Also, they get a free archer. So by the time your archer reaches the opponent's wood camp, let's say, it might already be upgraded and ready to raid. Then there are Bantu. Bantu are very dynamic. They can run away from fights. They can annoy the hell out of opponent. So as long as the opponent is either near age 1 or even early age 2, the Bantu infantry can do a lot of damage. Persians can also do this because they get extra food, so they can, if they're not going for early ancient raids, they can go for a late raids. Romans as well, because especially if the Roman barracks complete after age 2, because as soon as the Romans reach age 2, they get a free infantry. And then we got Aztecs. Aztecs get 2 free light infantry once they reach age 2. And I like Japanese specifically because they can get their food income up very easily. They save on wood because of cheap farms. So Japanese can also go Military 1 and start raiding earlier towards the late age 1. The next part is age 2 early raids. And in this case, as soon as you reach age 2, you go military level 2 and get a stable, and you start making horse archers or heavy cavalries. These are very, very intense raids if done correctly. This in the video is a Mongol raid, the most feared age 2 raids in the game, because Mongols get 2 free horse archers when they complete a stable after researching military level 2. These are extremely strong because the player does not have to spend resources building these horses, they just get free, while the defender needs to spend a lot of resources in defending. In case of horse archers, you could also send heavy cavalries, which are themselves very strong, and if used properly, you can do a lot of damage while also saving your unit. While any nation can go for age 2 early raids. There are certain nations that are just better at it. Mongols are very fast in age 1, and so they can reach age 2 quickly, and with those free horses, they are a nightmare to face against. Next, Greeks. They are very unique because their heavy cavalry are as fast as light horses. So you can do as much damage as a heavy cavalry and still run away like a light horse. Then Egyptians. Egyptian horse archers are very nice. They're actually the only horse archer in the game that, if microed well, can get rid of a light cavalry by itself. Aztecs are great for raiding just because for every kill they get resources. Inca, because they get so much wealth, they can afford to continuously raid without losing much eco. Then Romans, for the same reason that they get a lot of wealth income, so they are able to continuously make horse archers and heavy cavalries. Dutch, just because of their fast start and their eco bonuses. Next comes Persians and Indians, and they are slightly unique. The thing with Indians and Persians is that they have a unique unit, which is the War Elephant. You don't even need to research military level 2 to get the War Elephant. Just build a stable and start making them. These elephants are so strong that I know certain people who would ban Indians and Persians in ELO Legends just because of the elephants. I will mention a very unique type of raid that any nation can do, and these are militia raids. They can be done anytime after age 2, and as long as your opponent doesn't have attrition research, you can even go inside his territory and do this. The best nation for this is obviously Koreans, because they get free militia upgrade, but apart from that, you can do it with any other nation. Turks would be great because they get cheaper villagers. Chinese are great because they get instant villagers. Next, we got army raids. This requires you using your full army to go into the enemy territory and raiding. About any nation can do this as long as you are fast enough, you have a bigger army than your opponent, and you are in some kind of lead. But I still prefer certain nations do this because they are better equipped for it. For example, Mongols, because they can conjure up huge armies very quickly, and they have cavalry bonuses so they can run away faster. Then Iroquois, because these are very fast units. If you think you have taken a wrong engagement, you can quickly run away. Same reason for Bantu as well, faster infantry. Then there is French. French are great because they get healing. So as you're running away and you're raiding, your units keep healing as well. Next, Greeks, because their infantry are faster. Cavalry are fast, and as well as they are much faster to reach medieval age, so they can do this. In the end, we got Lakota, because Lakota army mostly consists of cavalry. That makes them very useful for army raids. From classical age to information age, you can do these raids anytime you want, depending on the situation. This brings me to age 3 cavalry raids. These are very unique because heavy cavalry are hardest to counter. They can run away from heavy infantry, and at the same time, nothing else beats them. So they can take on engagements, and they can kill villagers, they can kill caravans, and most of the times you can still save them and bring them back to your territory. While you can do these with any nation, I think the 4 nations I'm mentioning stand out for their abilities. Mongols, because they get cheaper cavalry. French, because their heavy cavalry is stronger. Greeks, because their heavy cavalry is faster. And a special mention to Russians, because they don't use heavy cavalry. They can use heavy cavalry, but their light cavalry itself is a very good raiding unit. Heavy cavalry remain a very strong unit even in gunpowder age. Nothing except heavy infantry beat them, so you can use them to raid unlimited. Another very strong unit that emerges in gunpowder age is the Dragoon. Dragoons are ranged cavalry. You've always had these, but remember, they were not as powerful. Now they can kill a villager in 2 shots, and they can snipe caravans much easily, which makes them super strong and also very a big threat. If the opponent is sending dragoons at you, like Red Bull is sending at Cypher right now, yeah, you gotta put some real defenses on. About every nation can do them equally well, no need to mention any specifics, except elephant nations. Elephant nations are super strong. If you have elephants raiding you, you better be ready with spies, else, or a mini army at your base. Nothing else is good enough to beat an elephant raid. The next type of raiding I'm going to talk about is an extremely powerful one. This is called the secondary army raids. In this one, you take a small army with your government leader, like a despot or monarch, and go into the enemy territory. You make sure you bring a scout so that you don't have to run away because of a spy. While you have a main army back home defending, it could also be raiding, so that means there are two raiding armies. But anyway, you need to have two armies where one is raiding and the other is at least defending. This way you can throw off your opponent so much that usually this is enough to win a game if done successfully. Your opponent needs to react very quickly to make this work. French are perfect for this because of the healing and pre-general. The other favorite nation of mine is Indians because of the elephants. The instant elephant upgrades makes them excellent at secondary army raids. As you can see here, I'm raiding and my units don't die just because they're elephants. Elephants are hard to kill. So even without a nation like French, which has healing, these elephants are going to be alive for a very long time. Reaching age 6, you get the armored car. These are upgraded horse archers and light cavalries. The way they are different from the horse archers is that they can continuously shoot, not in bursts. That means you can have a unit walking or continuously moving and it will keep shooting at its target. So these are extremely strong raiding units. They can be countered by Minutemen upgrades, but most players I know do not get that early on. I think every nation can do this equally well. There is a special mention going to Lakota because they get instant and free upgrade for the light cavalry class. And finally, we got the helicopter raids. When you reach modern age, the airbase allows you to make helicopters, and these are extremely strong. They can raid almost anything, assuming the opponent does not have a castle or an anti-aircraft. With that, you know about most of the raiding strategies available in the game. If you can mix and match them in the right amount, again in the right circumstance, you can win the game and you are ready for a competitive world. Hope everybody was able to learn something. I will see you all later. Bye bye.